Get you set for basketball here between Emory and
Good evening,
Washoe.
ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Woodruff Physical Education Center on the campus of Emory University for tonight's University Athletic Association women's basketball matchup between the Washington University Bears and your Emory Eagles. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem, performed by Talia Green.
After a very nice national anthem, let's get you those starting lineups. First for Washoe and the Bears. Now they will be led at the point by number 2, Haley Semple. She scores about 4.5 points a game. The freshman from Park Ridge, Illinois. Also a guard, a senior from Springfield, Virginia, is number 5, Becca Clark Callender. Just under double digits per game. That's number 11, Rachel Sondag. She scores 9.1 points a game from Webster Groves, Missouri. And Caroline Ballard is a player to watch too. A senior, she can be one of those swing players. Probably most likely we'll see her down low at forward, wearing number 12, as Ballard is from Manhattan, Kansas. And we mentioned the leader of this team, number 42, Madeline Homily. Big things out of the senior from Kansas City, Missouri. She averages 16 points a game and 7.4 rebounds, and was picked for the 4th team All-American honors in the preseason. For the Emory Eagles, Lindsay Say will control things. The point guard out of Calabasas, California. Not so much a scorer, but really a facilitator. Hangs on to the ball. Erin Lindahl from Yardley, Pennsylvania. 10.3 points a game for her. Her number is number 10, and she is on a 15-game streak of at least hitting 1 3-pointer. Azaria Jackson-Sherrod. She has 8.3 points per game this season, but 9 games this year with 10 or more points, and so she's easily into double figures. And I think for Emory tonight that she'll have to go into double figures for them to be successful. The 2 players that lead the way scoring-wise, number 22, Allison Chernow, right now at about 12, or I should say 13 points a game. She has got 9 double figures scoring games this year. The junior from Dresher, Pennsylvania, and of course Ashley Oldshue, the senior from Glenview, Illinois, at 16.1 points a game and 8 rebounds. She has been good from the line as well at 81%. And so those are your starting lineups as Emory is going to need tonight, I think, you talked about this before we got started, to score. Right now, if you look at WashU at 74.5 points per game as a team. Emory's at 68.6. So they're going to have to figure out that disparity.
Absolutely. I mean, Washington University has so many scoring weapons. They can score from every spot on the floor. They have great shooters and they have a solid inside game. So Emory's going to need to find a way to score consistently in all 4 quarters tonight in order to compete with this Washington University team.
Homily and Oldshue will jump, and the tip goes to Emory. As looking inside to Oldshue and can't follow through with the pass from Lindahl, and it's flipped out off of, it looked like Emory as well, and that's what the call will be. So WashU will get it back with Sondig to send it in. They'll go quickly into Homily, guarded there after a step back, and gets a kind roll over Oldshue.
I spoke with Coach Jackson earlier this week, and she said they have to make Homily's touches more difficult. The guards have to give good ball pressure, and Ashley has to make it harder for her to even touch the ball down in the post. If they can do that, they're going to have a better chance of making her shots a little bit harder.
Azaria Jackson-Sherrod in and out. Rebound goes to WashU. A look on that far side now. Sondag back to the middle. There's Ballard. Touch for her. Driving into the paint. Semple kicks it back out. Clark Callender. Semple from the free throw line left it short. Azaria Jackson-Sherrod with the rebound. Jackson-Sherrod, left-handed dribble, gives it off to Lindahl. Thought about the three, instead tries to drive into the paint where she's cut off there. Step back from the free throw line, won't go. Oldshue with the rebound and is fouled on the baseline. That looks like the first against Homily.
That was great intensity to follow the shot by Ashley and pick up one quick one on Homily. If they can get a second one, that would be huge really early in this game.
Yeah, that's a tough foul for her to give up. It's the right call, but when you are giving up a foul like that, that's kind of a ticky-tack foul down low, fighting for the rebound. Not sure if that's the best use of fouls for their best players. Jackson-Sherrod tied up. And so Z on the baseline. Nice effort from the young lady from New Hope, Minnesota, but the arrow goes in favor of the Bears.
And this is a big game for the seniors tonight. Azaria Jackson-Sherrod, Ashley Oldshue, and Courtney Heinrich have yet to beat Washington University in their 4-year career. So I know they'd love to get this one tonight.
Christina Schmelter into the game for the first time for WashU, and she had a big game last time out with these two, and a layup will go to make it 4-0. As right now, WashU with the early start. That basket scored by Becca Clark Callender. Turnell can score from anywhere on the floor. Instead goes to Azaria Jackson-Sherrod. Now Lindahl with it. Oldshue, a long two, and knocks it down.
Better attacking from the Eagles on that possession, attacking and kicking the ball and making the defense shift.
The score now 4-2. WashU driving, again going baseline, nicely knocked away by Lindahl as they tried to look inside for Schmelter. Outside, Lindahl for three, and that will ricochet off to the far side out of bounds, so she can't get the three to convert to keep her streak going, but that's the first attempt of what we suspect will be more. And it's 7:44 now here in the first quarter. Emory trailing by a pair. Talked about the Bears of WashU. Perfect 9-0 this year in conference play. 15-5, the identical overall record to Emory, although Emory sits at 6-3 in the conference. Turnaround jumper won't go. That was taken by Schmelter into the hands of Azaria Jackson-Sherrod.
Yeah, you'll notice Schmelter came in for Madeline Homily. She got quickly seated by Randy Henderson, the coach in her second year with the Bears, probably trying to avoid that second foul.
They're using the high glass is Lindsay Say. She doesn't shoot a lot. And in that transition, they try to get back quickly, but nice defense there by Emory, forcing up a shot, air ball by Semple, out of bounds. It'll be Emory ball.
Yeah, I'd really like to see the Eagles capitalize on this possession and try and go into Ashley now that with Homily on the bench.
Bill Schindler and Michelle Bevan with you. 6:55 and ticking. We're tied at 4 between two teams that have big aspirations when it comes to perhaps the season and postseason play. Jump ball called as Chernow got tied up in the paint. Nice job inside by Rachel Sondag, the senior from Webster Groves, Missouri. Lindahl, quick two, can't get it to go. Rebound went long to Caroline Ballard. On the other end, forced up a shot to Sondag, and the rebound to Lindahl. She does good at those, Michelle, as Lindahl 5 rebounds a game.
Oh, absolutely. And Allison with the excellent defense on that fast break, and especially not to foul.
Whistle on Emory. And so the offensive foul will go on Ashley Oldshue. And so the matchup that we highlighted in the pregame sees both players now on the bench because of foul trouble. See Blair Ripley for the first time. Also entering the game at point, Molly Weiss at the 2 guard. We'll take Lindahl out. Inside, nothing there. Good defense as they blocked off Schmelter. The 3 won't go. Rebounded by Ripley, and now on the run, here comes Emory. 4 minutes in, we're tied at 4. And Say, and how about that? Lindsay Say with 4 points early on. She only averages 4.2 a game.
Man, the little hesitation stutter step on the baseline and right by her defender. That was excellent.
She's put Emory up by 2, 6-4. They've had good interior defense as well to keep Schmelter out of the paint. Driving and kicking it out was Clark Callender. 10 on the shot clock now at the free throw line. Sondag screened off by Chernow. It will be off of Chernow, but 7 on the shot clock for WashU.
Well, and the Eagle guards clearly trying not to get in foul trouble really early on in this game. They've had a trouble with that in the past few games, and they're doing a great job defensively so far.
Samantha Weaver just checked in for WashU for the first time. Long 3, doesn't get there. Shot clock still running at 2-1, and that will expire before the shot is taken by Ballard. And good defense again by Emory to get the turnover.
And Stephanie Botkin and Madeline Homley back in the game now for the Bears.
So now you have it flipped with Homley in and Oldshue on the bench. So we'll see if they want to take advantage of that. And as soon as we say it, Oldshue back up to check in at the next dead ball. No space for Chernow. Ripley up top. Cut off there, 7 on the shot clock. Here comes Say with 4 points. Mid-range jumper from Sherrod, and Azaria Jackson Sherrod knocks those mid-range shots down with ease. Up by 4 is Emory. Clark Callender. Outside they'll go. Homily. That ricochets into the waiting hands of Azaria Jackson Sherrod. Weiss bounce pass into the interior, and a jump ball called as Blair Ripley got tied up. So Ripley out. I'll check that. That will be Oldshue in and Azaria Jackson Sherrod out. So they'll go big with Blair Ripley and Oldshue on the court at the same time.
This is one of Coach Jackson's favorite lineups. I think she really likes to go big to big on the offensive side between Blair and Ashley.
Stephanie Botkin is in the game as they'll close it to a 2-point gap for WashU with that jumper. So both teams going big. Ripley on the drive, left-handed layup is good.
The Eagles are being so aggressive early in this game. Everything is driving towards the rim and kicking to open teammates, driving towards the rim to get great shots like that one.
So far, the scoring has been there. They finished well, and the defense has been good. That time, good defense, but well done there by Stephanie Botkin, senior from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. 3 from Weiss. Gotcha.
And what a great hustle play by the senior, Ashley Oldshue, to save that ball from going out of bounds and kick it out to her shooter.
Emory up 13-8. Left-handed drive by Samantha Weaver. Bring it back, 17 on the shot clock, right at the elbow. Driving now down low, Homily. And if she could get going, watch out. Homily now with 4. Ripley drives midway, puts up a long shot, and Oldshue couldn't hang on to the rebound off the miss. Again in the paint, this time getting it to fall is Samantha Weaver, the freshman from Apex, North Carolina.
Typically, the Eagles are a very fast-paced team, and Washi wants to play just as fast, so the Eagles have to get back on defense in that possession and match up.
Oldshue, nothing there for her. Oldshue only with 2 so far. About 2.5 minutes left here in the first quarter of play, and another miss by Homily, although she has had 4 so far. And we've seen her on the bench because of that early foul. 13-12 your score. Another miss by Emory, but a rebound goes to Chernow. Buys them a fresh 30. Here's Weiss. Mid-range jumper left it short. And the rebound gathered by Sondag and the Bears. Down low and counted. Fouled was Homily. She'll have now 6 and a chance for a 3-point play.
WashU's doing such a good job pushing the pace and getting down the floor to find the open man.
Second on the team. It's the first on Blair Ripley. A big change for Emory. Joe Chi in. Jackson Sherrod comes back. Kennedy Cater in as well. Converting there now for the 3-point play, and 7 on the evening is Homily. WashU now up by 2, 15-13. Oldshue outside. Lindahl, left-handed drive, stripped off the baseline. They'll retain possession with 15 on the shot clock. Cater to inbound. Lindahl thought about a quick 3. Instead, the young lady from Yardley, Pennsylvania takes it back outside to Azaria Jackson-Sherrod. Bounce pass to Kennedy Cater. Coming around the screen. Outside 3 for Oldshue. She got it. Ashley Oldshue does not shoot many of those. It's only her 2nd of the year. She's now 2 of 13 from distance, but they'll take it to go back up by 1. Homily, foul down low by Jackson-Sherrod.
Now the Emory post player is getting in a little bit of foul trouble with Azaria Jackson-Sherrod with 1, Ashley Oldshue with 1, and Blair Ripley with 1. It looks like the freshman Tori Huggins is about to check in, hopefully buy him the last minute of this quarter to avoid one more foul for any of those post players.
You mentioned Tori Huggins in from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. She's seen some minutes, but not a ton. And Homily will knock down a pair. So Homily, as billed so far, 9 here in this first quarter of play. They'll lose possession. The turnovers, not something that you want if you're an Emory fan. I can't live with those. And as more points put on the board, it's now 19-16, WashU.
WashU's in a 3-quarter court pressing zone, and it clearly stumbled up Emory on that last possession. Let's see if they can get something good out of this one.
That bucket, Homily now has 11. Huggins on the outside, gives to Lindahl. 8 on the shot clock. Lindahl puts it up at the rim. Back to 1. They trail 19-18.
Emory is not settling for anything from deep early in this game. Everything has been moving towards the rim. Very aggressive.
They can't take the last shot. It's a little over a second differential, second and some change. Almost about 2 seconds actually between game clock and shot clock. Inside, left hand, and getting it to go again with a big first half is Madeline Homily. That shot will go well high, almost hitting the top of that backboard, just trying to get it off at the end of the first quarter. And so Emory, not a bad start to things, but they do trail 21-18, mostly because of the 13 from Madeline Homily.
Oh yeah, Madeline Homley's been impossible to stop so far for the Emory post players. They're really going to have to figure out a better way to contain her, or at least make her touches inside a little bit more challenging, because yeah, she's been unstoppable so far.
I mean, both teams have shot well, Michelle. Emory's 8 of 17, so 47.1%. 9 of 17, that's 52.9%. So that's really good right now for WashU. So, if you look through the numbers, other than Homily, who had that 13, and she didn't play the full 10 either because she was on the bench because of an early foul. So just shows you how good she can be. Looking at other points in the paint, that has really gone the way of WashU. No surprise there with Homily, 14-8.
And I'll be curious if the Bears change up their defenses a little bit in this quarter. The last time they played against Emory, they played mostly a 2-3 zone, and they extended it a couple times into that three-quarter court zone pressured defense. But today they've been in a man mostly, and so I'm curious if they'll change that up, if they think that Emory's too comfortable against the man-to-man, that they might sit back in a zone. Most of the other UAA conference teams have played Emory in a zone.
The interesting part is when you talk with Misha Jackson, she says they don't play zone. Emory plays mostly that player-to-player defense, but as you mentioned, other teams do. And so it's kind of interesting for them because in practice it's harder to run that zone kind of as a scout team, and it is a little bit of an adjustment.
It definitely is, and Emory's gotten a lot better at playing against the zone because they've had to play it in almost every single conference game so far this year. But they're just too much of a matchup problem, and teams don't like to play them man-to-man because they have great matchups, and their post players are really excellent.
Shea has 6 points now. Emory back trailing by 1. So she is above her game average. Outside, 3 on its way off the back iron and lift out. That was Stephanie Botkin. Botkin averaging just under 8 points a game. Oldshue at the elbow. Chernow, she's had a quiet start. Still no points for the second leading scorer. Trying to change that, and does. Emory back up by 1, 22-21. On the block, Botkin.
And Azaria smart there not to pick up her second foul. But also a great shot by Botkin.
Botkin now the leading scorer on the floor for WashU with 6. Is on the bench to start things off as Madeline Homily. And we'll see if they can take advantage of that. Nice screen by Oldshue. They kick it back off the pick and roll, and she'll knock it down. And that's a long 2. But Oldshue puts Emory up 24-23.
And she's got 7 points already this game, so seniors got to step up and play in these big matchups.
On the tail of the tape, not a lie so far. The 2 players we highlighted is that knockdown there by Schmelter. We mentioned had a big game the last time these 2 teams played off the bench.
Yeah, she had 17 points in their last game in Missouri.
Missed by Lindahl, rebounded by the Bears and Caroline Ballard. Jackson Sherrod with a block. Here's Chernow. She wants some motion. Again, sets up that screen. They ran that play last time. Instead, she'll keep it and drive to the hoop. So there you go. They ran it and kicked it out last time for a basket. This time, Chernow takes it herself and still converts. Another block inside. Oldshue will get it this time, but still the Bears keep possession.
Yep, Ashley is already the all-time block leader, so now she's just adding to that stat and will be for the remainder of her senior year. Coming into tonight, she had 108 career blocks.
7-minute mark now. Fight for the ball and a whistle stop play as Lindahl ended up on the floor. Got tied up there with Samantha Weaver. Lindahl will actually be called for the personal foul. It'll be her first personal.
Number 2, Molly Weiss.
Weiss
Personal foul
returns,
for Ripley.
and who else came into the game?
Blair came back in for Ashley Oldshue.
There you go, Blair Ripley. Knew there was more than one player that came in. And Ripley, she makes her impact felt right away with that block. And after it goes out of bounds, it'll be called for Emory to get possession. And that's a pretty good block against Madeline Homily. So Ripley, the sophomore, she has put in some good minutes, not only offensively, but you saw there defensively. Emory will retain possession. Back out top, Chernow looking for some space, gets the screen, again rolling out Jackson Sherrod, bounce pass to the outside, 7 on the shot clock, Say with it, 3 on its way from Chernow, and that will bounce back off the backboard and into the hands of the waiting Homily. Homily from just outside the free throw line, left it short, rebound Chernow. Emory up by 1, 26-25. Turned around in the paint and fouled. It won't go, but she'll go to the line as Blair Ripley.
And that'll be 2 on Madeline Homily. I bet she's about to sit down.
You see Schmelter up right away. Check that. That is, I think, Botkin. It is Stephanie Botkin who comes in for Schmelter, or I should say, I'm sorry, Homily. Schmelter's already on the floor. Homily with that pair of fouls.
And Emory, an excellent free throw shooting team. They're 75% as a team on the season. It's second in the conference.
That'll help win you some games. In contrast, just under 72% is WashU. The jump ball, the arrow point in favor of the Bears. 6 minutes left to play in the first half. Schindler and Michelle Bevan with you. It has been billed as a good game. Has lived up to every sense of the billing so far. Ballard kicks it out. 3 is good there by Botkin. We're tied at 28.
And Botkin's got 9 points now. She's come in and played excellent minutes when Homily's been on the bench.
Turn now to rush traffic. Half of the shot clock has disappeared. Weiss around the screen. Back to his area. Jackson Sherrod. Long 2. Misfired and into the hands of Schmelter. Still a tie game. Down low. There's Botkin. Instead kicks back out to Becca Clark-Callender. Long drive, out of control was Sondag. And Emory now with Chernow on the run. Saw about the 3. Back over to Weiss here on the near side. 14 on the shot clock. Little stutter step by Ripley. Now Say with 6. And a foul on WashU.
The Eagles have been so aggressive this half. I love to see them continue to drive towards the rack, but also defensively. They've gotten their hands on passes. They have at least 3 or 4 block shots now. They're just being aggressive in all aspects of the game, and it's really going well for them.
But first on Ballard. Ripley's shot lipped just out off that front edge. Still tied at 28 apiece. Botkin, looked like that might have been partially blocked. And it'll go out of bounds on Ripley and the Eagles. 19 on the shot clock for the Bears. You mentioned, Michelle, off the air, that Emory can't have a sluggish quarter. So far, they have not.
So far, they've scored really consistently, and so have the Bears. But in the second half, they're going to have to keep that going and keep scoring and not hit a lag, not hit those 3-4 minutes in a row without a field goal.
Nice rebound by Schmelter off the three, miss by Ballard. And now Emory coming away with it, taken away once again there by Botkin. And a reset on the shot clock at the 4-minute mark.
And the senior, Becca Clark-Callender, looks to be trying to get her team in line to set up a full new offensive possession.
In the paint, putting off from the near side, and in is Schmelter. And Schmelter now cobbling together a fairly good game with 4 points so far for her. Ripley knocking it down. Back to a tie game, this time at 30 apiece. Off the bank, won't go. Ripley grabs the rebound. Both teams have slowed down a bit, at least in their field goal percentage, and another miss. The good news for Emory, though, is both teams have gone cold at the same time. Would have been a game that's seen a lot of possessions turning into scores. Now seen some misses, and there's another one, but good defense again by Ripley as she closed off the lane for Schmelter.
Blair's defense the past couple possessions has been impeccable down in the low post.
Azaria Jackson-Sherrod too strong and into the waiting hands of the Bears. Becca Clark-Callender with the rebound. She averages just over 5 a game. 2.5 minutes remaining. Tied at 30 apiece. Clark-Callender in the paint and will get the kind roll. That'll be her second bucket of the game, now with 4 on the evening. Lindell bounced past Azaria Jackson-Sherrod before she'll draw it back out. Picked up her dribble, needs help. Outside, there's Weiss. Lindell in the paint, or Lindell outside, I should say. And the three won't go. Her second three attempt that she's not connected on.
This is several minutes in a row without a stoppage in play. You can see the girls are a little bit winded on both sides.
Both teams still shooting pretty well, but it's gone down quite a bit. And there's another block by Ripley. So that will get at least a lineup change for both squads. And Ripley gets to sit after creating that block. Boy, she has had a very good game defensively. Oldshue back in. Jochi joined on the floor, and now as a whistle called, let's see who they'll book that on. That could be on Oldshue.
And here comes Tori Huggins as Ashley takes a seat with that next foul.
And the second on Oldshue. At least the good news is a minute 38 left in the first half. You would suspect she might sit the rest of that way. We'll have to see. Inside, a little bit short for Brigman. Mary Brigman, first time we've seen her, number 41, the sophomore from Helena, Montana. Jochi outside, Huggins. Chernow around the screen from Torrey. Say tried to force up a shot, it was blocked, and the Bears come away with it with just over a minute to play. Floater in the lane. That won't go from Semple. Rebound went to Brigman. Inside, they were trying to go to Botkin.
And that's the 6th block from the Eagles. They're playing great defense down low.
That's kind of amazing that the first half, 6 blocks.
We'll have to check the record books on that one.
You got to think a first half performance. It's about as good as it's going to get defensively. Alicia Jackson will have no complaints there. The 3 on its way, and that'll hit the shot clock. As Klossner, first time we saw her in the game this afternoon, a senior from West Chicago, Illinois. Just 2.5 points a game. WashU up by 2, 32-30, as we tick down toward the final half minute.
And WashU switching into a zone defense, possibly just to control the foul trouble, make sure that they're playing it safe in the last minute.
7 on the shot clock. Lindell's 3, and that'll be on the back iron. The rebound will go to the Bears. Fought for and then knocked out, as originally the rebound went to Brigman.
Player in the game for Emory,
19.2
Sophia
left to play. Joe Chi comes back in. Lindell will check out.
Thanks.
So Emory now trying to play Kloster on the outside. Gives off to Semple. Sondag down low, knocked away again. So WashU with 5.3 left to play here. Emory up by 2. Or I'm sorry, Emory trailing by 2. Notice they have a foot on the line.
Great defense by Sophia. Now Aaron will come in to get her for the offensive end and see if they can get a shot up, and then he's the last 3.7 seconds of the half.
Emory look at the tie with a 3. Obviously they go up by 1. Say puts up a prayer almost from half court. Say has had 6 in this game so far, and right now Emory, as we mentioned, the all-time series is against them 54-6. Right now they are trying to change that history, and they're only down by 2 at the half.
I mean, overall an excellent half from both teams. Both teams were so aggressive, pushing the ball in transition, pounding the ball inside with excellent post play, as well as excellent post play defense on both sides. You see WashU sticking with the man-to-man. I'm curious to see if they're going to switch that up in the second half. But both teams playing extremely well. Let's see, WashU's shooting almost 40% from the field and Emory at 43%. From 3, Emory's 2 of 7 and WashU's only 1 of 6. So not a lot from outside, not a lot from deep, but a lot of pushing the ball in transition and pounding it down low into the post players.
Well, both teams have been good on turnovers, only 6 for Emory, 3 for WashU. And just keep this number in mind too. This is not a game number, just an overall number. This team has gone on a very good start, and if they could get a win here tonight, it would just keep this going. The team's win-loss margin ties the 93, 94, 97, 98, and 2013-2014 squads to the 3rd best 20-game record in school history. So this means a lot to them in a lot of ways. They will have another 20 left to play. Let's take a break. It'll be halftime. Emory down to the Bears, 32-30. We'll be back with more after this.
If you like to do this, or that, or even that, and you want to get back at it, we've got your back. Or your shoulder, or your hip, or your knee. The sports medicine specialists at Emory Healthcare treat more world-class, professional, and college-level athletes than anyone else in the state. We'll treat you like a pro and get you back in play.
When you're in college, you kind of find out who you are. And throughout your 4 years, you develop yourself with all the different experiences, which leads into dedicating yourself to your community, to your family. So when you're a senior, you're coming out a well-rounded person.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests outside of the classroom and outside of the court or field. I've had the ability to get into different activities and organizations, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
Getting to be involved in a lot of different things, ranging from obviously being a student athlete to getting involved with my campus and my community, and not only being allowed to do that, but being encouraged to do that.
The opportunity to be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, to have the professors know me on a personal level, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference. It really helps you develop thinking from other people's perspectives and looking at problems from outside the box.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
I've definitely learned how to really be myself. I found out, yes, I am actually a good leader, and yes, I can actually put myself forward because I am good enough. I can do it.
Coming in to college, I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of different career goals, and I've learned so much about myself that I was always like growing and changing.
When I got to college, it forced me to step up and become more of a leader, and I think that was something I had the capability of doing, and forever grateful that being at a Division III school gave me that opportunity.
You have to dedicate your time in the classroom, you have to dedicate your time in the gym, on the field, on the court.
Our coaches and the entirety of the athletic department, they valued the student athlete going out into community and trying something new and getting involved in campus life.
You can get involved in so many different things. So the possibilities are truly limitless for what you can do with your college experience. You can kind of make it your own in the Division III setting. So I would encourage people who want to have flexibility to pursue different interests and passions to go D3.
Your score at the half, WashU 32, Emory 30. The Eagles have played a very solid defensive first half, looking to knock off one of the best teams in the UAA. And so as the calendar shows us February 8th, let's look back 11 years ago to what was happening, where Emory winning. Maybe they can do it again 11 years later, but this time it was against Brandeis, 75-63. They trailed in that one by a significant margin at the half, 42-28, and then outscored Brandeis the rest of the way, 47-21. I think a lot of people are saying maybe they can repeat that history here in this second half. Laura Turner with 14 points, along with LaShonda Willard with 13. And so, let's see what Emory can do in this second half. And so Bill Schindler, Michelle Bevan with you. Michelle, what stood out to you in that first half for Emory?
Well, I think their intensity, both offensively and defensively, stood out. Their great low post defense against Madeline Homily and Stephanie Botkin. And then offensively, they were aggressive. They ran their motion, their screen on ball options on both ends of the court, and just attacked the rim. They attacked the basket and kicked for open shooters. And I think they played that really effectively. I'll be curious to see if WashU comes out and changes up the defense, tries to shake up things a little bit, and on the reverse side, if Emory will switch up their defense at all too.
Leading scorers were the two young ladies we highlighted to open things up. Madeline Homily had 13. Ashley Oldshue had 7. Right now, Emory is being out-rebounded 21-19, although the big significance, at least big differential, has been on the offensive boards. 6 offensive rebounds for WashU. Emory only with 2, but that really has not hurt them. Second chance points. Nobody's scored any of those on either side, so go figure. Right now, Emory, they dipped a bit shooting percentage-wise, 13 of 30 in the first half, 43%, but WashU, not a good shooting first half, 37.8, 14 of 37. And here we go. Also just point out that Oldshue as well as Homily both have 2 fouls apiece, and they'll go at one another on a left-handed hook by Ashley Oldshue, and she's up to 9.
And that's an excellent first play by the Eagles. Go inside, force Homily to play defense, and see if you can get another foul. I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to go inside to Oldshue, just to be on the attack.
So tied at 32. Here's Homily, and she'll put it back to a 2-point lead for WashU. We highlighted those players early. We talked about them coming out in the second half. Both with a bucket apiece. Now 15 for Homily, 9 for Oldshue. Lindell, that's a long 2. There's a foot on the line. The rebound will go to Say. Nicely played by the young lady from Calabasas.
What an excellent rebound and great hustle play by the junior.
Inside, Oldshue. She had Homily there. Maybe could have gotten into her body, but instead takes it out. And it'll be knocked away, poked out and off of Oldshue. Go back to WashU. It's one of those coin flips. You could go up into her body. Both players playing with 2 fouls apiece. It would be dependent on how they call it. Here comes Homily again on the baseline. Back outside, Semple. Clark Callender on the drive, right hand, nice move. Fighting for the rebound. Finally, Say comes away with it. As Say with 2.8 rebounds a game. Her average 3 knocked down by Lindell. And so that keeps her streak going. Now 16 games with a 3-pointer. And Emory up by 1, 35-34. Baseline, Sondag. On the drive, and a reach-in foul goes against Lindahl, as that was Caroline Ballard on the drive. Lindahl will pick up her second personal.
And that's really okay. I mean, it's a hand foul, it's a hand check foul, but Emory's been great at the guard spot in terms of foul trouble this game compared to maybe a few of their last games. So I appreciate them still being aggressive and still trying to get their hands on those loose balls.
Down low, nothing for Homily. Good defense by Oldshue, and then we'll get, I guess, credit for the steal, although it looked like a pass that Callender just threw to Oldshue. And a whistle down low.
And then that'll be 3 on Madeline Homley.
Tell you what, that is a big foul because Homley now will go to the bench, and we'll see how long they'll let her heels cool.
And that was all caused from Lindsay Zay pushing the basketball and Ashley Oldshue running the floor in transition and getting to that first post.
Stephanie Botkin in, the senior from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Down low, nothing from Oldshue, fighting for her own rebound. Can't hang on to it. Clark Callender away with it. Botkin back and forth, and a 3 from her.
I think one of the biggest assets from watching this WashU team play this year is their confidence and their poise. They come down and just hit such timely scores. Even in the Case game that I saw, every time Case would go on a little bit of a run last weekend and try and catch up, Wash would just hit a perfect layup. They'd go inside and get an easy bucket, and they just have so much confidence and experience.
Lindell couldn't hit, but the putback was good from Ashley Oldshue. We're tied at 37 apiece. Should mention Botkin now, who's working down low with it now, throwing it away, has a dozen on the game. Nicely played by Azaria Jackson-Sherrod. Here's Chernow inside. Oldshue, right-handed finish. That forces a 30-second timeout. And so second-year head coach Randy Henderson will discuss the situation. Emory up by 2, and we'll have another look at things.
Let's see that steal by Azaria Jackson-Sherrod, and then Lindsay Say pushing it in transition, hitting Allison on the wing, and then back into Oldshue, who's running the floor. An excellent play all around.
Trying to think if we even had a timeout in that first half.
I don't think we did. I didn't even realize that, but you're right. Not a single timeout. Both coaches clearly expecting this to be a very close game, waiting until the very end and just holding on to those timeouts.
Yeah, I mean, that's unusual. What's also unusual here is if you watch a lot of Emory games, you know this, but they don't take media timeouts, which I'm not complaining about at all, but it is unusual. Most teams will take a media timeout. Here they do not. And so as Emory up by a pair, they've got him trapped down baseline, and a violation called as nobody came to help Stephanie Botkin.
And it's clear the momentum going in Emory's favor right now. The players seem fired up, lots of high fives around.
Yeah, just thinking back, that I can't remember a first half that there was no stoppages in play like that in a long time. Lindahl tried to force it up, couldn't get anything to go. Botkin with the rebound. Inside, Schmelter. Outside, Ballard. That won't go. Long rebound. Karam a little bit wide and off of a Bear. Emory will retake it. Back in comes Molly Weiss. Lindahl will go to the bench. 39-37 your score. Bill Schindler and Michelle Bevan with you.
And Lindsay doing an excellent job as always directing the offense. She has 6 assists per game. She's actually first in the conference at that. She has 3.87 assist turnover ratio this year, which is 3rd nationally. So she's been excellent for the Eagles at the point guard position this year.
Where Ripley lost the handle, Sondag was a little bit long on the 3. And so Emory will take it over on another rebound that went well wide off to the far side of your screen. And over toward the Bears bench. 5:25 and counting here in the third quarter. Emory up by 2. Chernow trying to make it up by 4. She does. A whistle stopped things. Not really sure why they were dead there, but
Looks
Oldshue
like
come back in.
Blair Ripley to the bench. I think she collided with one of the WashU players, and she might have just gotten the breath knocked out of her.
Going down to the end of the bench to be looked at by the train staff. Here's Clark Callender. Like Clark Callender, too strong with that shot. Emory up 41-37. Chernow always a threat from 3. A screen by Azaria Jackson-Sherrod. Oldshue at the free throw line, back outside to Z. Azaria Jackson-Sherrod, they call it the Z zone, that mid-range jumper that she has, and Instead, Chernow works around her screen. There's the mid-range jumper. Left it short this time. Rebound will go to the Bears, as they'll be back on the run. Sondag credited with that rebound, and a foul down low will go on Lindsay Say.
WashU's still doing a great job this half of pushing the ball and running the floor. They're beating Emory down the floor on a couple of these possessions, and Emory's having trouble getting back and matching up.
Stephanie Botkin to the line to shoot a pair. Back in comes Lindell. Out goes Chernow. One thing that Nisha Jackson was talking about is that transition defense need to be up to this offense of the Bears. They do like to try to catch you in transition. They make it 41-39 now. Emory still with the lead after those free throws. Knocked down by the senior from Iowa. Here's Molly Weiss. Weiss, long two into the arms of the miss of Caroline Ballard. Sondag inside, back out through Schmelter. Three on its way from straight up, and an air ball forced by Caroline Ballard. Senior from Manhattan, Kansas. Her grandfather, Ross, actually played basketball at Kansas State in Manhattan. The Little Apple, if you've ever been. And a timeout on the floor. So Emory will call a 30-second timeout. And so all of a sudden it feels like after not many timeouts, a deluge, if you will, of timeouts.
Yeah, both coaches wanting to take their time in this third quarter to make sure that the game doesn't get away from them, stop the runs when they start happening, and try and swing the momentum back in their favor. This is the time in the game when a little 6-8 point spurt can lead to you winning the game in the end of the fourth quarter. So both coaches trying to manage this well, talk to their teams consistently, and keep it even.
I think one number that stands out to me, and it's not huge, at least, you know, on first glimpse, 8 to 6 on turnovers. Emory's committed the 8, but points off of turnovers, 8 to 4 for WashU. So they have capitalized on those 8 turnovers by Emory to the tune of 8 points. And in a tight game, you can't overlook a little thing like that. 41-39, Emory with the lead. Oldshue down low, nice move, and a right-handed finish for her. So Oldshue now with 15 on the evening.
Yeah, I think WashU is missing Madeline Homley. She's been on the bench the rest of this third quarter with that third foul, and the Eagles have definitely taken advantage by going inside to Ashley Oldshue.
43-39 your score. The Eagles with the lead. Oldshue on the dribble. Outside, Weiss, and a kick ball. So a new reset there as Katie Klossner got her foot into it. Becca Clark-Callender comes back, as well as Madeline Homily.
And both teams this half sticking with that man-to-man defense.
So they let Homily sit as long as they could. Here's Oldshue in the paint, left hand this time, and the right hand previous to get her to 15. The left hand gets her to 17. And on the other end, Homily makes her presence felt. 45-41 your score. The Eagles with the lead. Lindell outside. Three, Weiss too strong, but there's Azaria Jackson-Sherrod. Thinking about it was Lindell. Instead, a little hop skip. Now we'll bring it back and reset.
And that's a smart move by the junior. Let your team set up and get into a new offensive possession.
Three from Lindell in front of her bench. A little bit too long, and a left-handed finish again from Oldshue in the paint. She is 19. Taken away by Azaria Jackson-Sherrod.
And all of a sudden you look up and it's 47-41 Emory.
Well, the whistle down low. That will be on Christina Schmelter, her first.
Looked like a little shove in the lane as Ashley tried to get position.
Sophia Chochi comes back in. Chochi is Very good defender, not that offensive minded, but she gets a shot there and gets it off the glass.
What a timely bucket. Excellent work by the sophomore.
From Sylvania, Ohio, she is averaging under a point a game. So a 2 for her, and now Emory up 49-41. On the other end, can't finish the putback though. Will go for Schmelter after the miss by Klausner. Actually, they'll check that. They'll give it to Brigman. So instead of 44, it's 41. Mary Brigman, her first points of the game. Oldshue, and a long two. She's now got 21.
And she's 9 for 13 from the field.
Well, it never hurts when your best player starts having a big game like that shooting-wise, and also that Madeline Homily, the best player for WashU, has had foul trouble with 3 and been on the bench most of this second half. With 1:01 left to play here in the third quarter, a whistle will stop play and a reach-in foul called on the Eagles.
Yeah, here comes Tori Huggins. Give Ashley a break, and she'll probably sit the rest of this quarter with that third foul.
Well, the two players we talked about, Oldshue and Homily, both now with 3 fouls apiece. Homily will be left on the floor. A minute left to play. Klausner just throws up a prayer, and a foul inside called on the Bears.
And that was a big box out by the freshman Tori Huggins. What a great move. She got the over the back call from the Bears, and that was a great possession for the freshman.
Foul is called on the sophomore from Helena, Montana, a Capital High School product, Mary Brigman.
And now WashU will switch it up. They're in a looks like a 2-3 zone.
3 from Lindor, second 3 of the game. 54-43.
And the Eagles with a big run to close out this third quarter.
Homily can't get it to go. Nice rebound by Azaria Jackson-Sherrod. And Chernow will slow walk it now.
And the shot clock is off, so the Eagles can wait and get a good shot on this last possession.
Emory is going to go up with the lead with 10 minutes left to play. The question is by how much? Here comes Lindahl into the paint. Let's see what Tori can do. And at the buzzer, Azaria Jackson-Sherrod makes it 56-43.
Wow, what a great final possession. Everyone on the court touched the ball. Great ball movement to get it down low into the paint to Tori. And then the little kick out for the Z zone. Azaria Jackson-Sherrod to hit the jumper.
And we'll get another look at the Z zone and those mid-range jumpers right now.
And Tori kicks it out, finds Z on the wing for the 2 right at the buzzer. Perfect timing, excellent execution.
Well, tell you what, I think if a lot of people tonight would have been told they'd be up by 13 with 10 to play going into this fourth quarter, it would have been smiles all around and maybe a little bit of disbelief. WashU has won 10 in a row, and they have won, I'm trying to think of the number, how many in a row did we talk about before against Emory?
Oh, 13 in a row. Emory has lost 13 in a row to the WashU Bears. It's been several years, I think 5 or 6 years since Emory is
back to your freshman year, right?
Yeah, so I played from 2013 to 2017 for the Eagles, and the last time we beat WashU was actually my freshman year. So it's been quite a few years since that time. This would be a huge upset, but I mean, Emory outscoring the Bears 26-11 in the third quarter. That's what we talked about from the Eagles' perspective. The same goes for the Bears, that you can't really have quarters like that when you only put up those 11 points. The second quarter was 12-11, so both teams struggled a little bit, but Emory coming out so hot in the third quarter to outscore the Bears by 15 points.
Trying to take down the number 21 team in the country in D3 and end that nightmarish 13-game losing streak against WashU. And WashU's going to go from distance right away. They're fighting for the rebound and a call inside. This could be a big one if it's on Oldshue or Homily.
I couldn't tell who the ref said. That's Ashley Oldshue's 4th foul. That's huge. That is huge.
It's a big call inside. Knocked down there by Homily.
And it looks like Azaria Jackson-Sherrod is waiting to check in to give Ashley a break. And
I tell you, that's a tough foul to call.
That's tough. that's a tough one.
I mean, especially going in, the two best players on the court fighting for a rebound. It was contact, but probably mutual at some point. Down low, they'll go to the baseline. A little bit of acrobatics, but can't get it to fall from Sondag. Nice play there by Ripley for the rebound. Ripley can play on the perimeter. Lindo now coming around the screen. Oldshue remains on the floor with those 4 personal fouls.
And WashU switched back to a man-to-man defense.
Too strong from Ashley. She's got 21 points. She's been the best player by far for Emory. They've got to watch out, though. If they can get her off the court in time, you don't want her to pick up the 5th quickly. And a whistle down low. It'll be on Ripley. And are they going to count it or not? They will. So Bodkin with the drive and was fouled. She is 16.
And the good news for the Eagles is that's only Blair Ripley's 2nd foul of the night, so she can stay on the court for a long time. Azaria Jackson-Sherrod, same thing. So in terms of post play, there's backups behind Ashley, but Emory now needs to be a little bit concerned about the momentum. They can't let 2, 3 more possessions go by and they don't score, and WashU does.
Bodkin now is 17, the young lady from Zach Johnson's hometown in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. 19 points for Homily. As we said, 17 for Bodkin. So the 2 bigs down low have done the bulk of the damage for the Bears. 3 from Ripley. Gotcha! 59-48. Inside, Bodkin fighting for space. Too strong. Chernow with the rebound. Under 8 minutes now. Here in this 4th, and what would be a decisive quarter unless we end up in a tie. Emory has played a great game so far. Chernow fouled in the paint. Allison Chernow, we talked about this a little bit, Michelle. The pregame is her foul trouble early on hurt her this year. In the last few games, she was on the bench with foul issues. Tonight, she has not had that.
Yeah, and hasn't done a ton in the scoring column tonight. I think that makes 7 points for her tonight with that free throw. But she's done so many little things on the court tonight that have been excellent. Her defense has been excellent. She's gotten her hands on a lot of balls, but also the ball movement on offense and driving and kicking to open teammates. She's been outstanding.
She missed on the 2nd. Homily grabbed the rebound. The foul was on Becca Clark-Callender. It's her first personal. Emory up 60-48. Homily kicking it back outside after being cut off on the baseline. Bodkin trying to make a decision. Clark-Callender inside to Homily. 10 on the shot clock. They'll kick it back to Ballard, who drives down the paint. Left it short. Say with the rebound. And now here's Chernow. There's Z. No, couldn't get the mid-range jumper. And it will be a last touched by the Eagles. The Bears get possession again.
And both teams still pushing the ball in transition, trying to beat the other team down the floor and beat their matchups down the floor ultimately.
It's that transition defense, transition offense for the Bears that Nisha Jackson talked about being one of the keys in this game. Of course, rebounding as well. We look at total rebounding, it's about even, and actually Emory with the slight edge on that, 33-31. Homily. Outside, they'll go through Klossner. Semple. And now here's Samantha Weaver with a big lineup change. Klossner again driving. 10 on the shot clock. Semple with it. Outside, long 3 knocked down by Bodkin. She's got 20 now, leads all scorers on the Bears.
Also, I think this is a really key possession for the Eagles. They need to score. They need to keep the momentum not in their favor, at least not a big momentum shift in WashU's favor at this point with only 6 minutes left.
Emory up by 9. Chernow down low and counter.
What a great pass from Azaria Jackson-Sherrod down low to Allison Chernow, and the great finish by the junior.
So Chernow to the line, trying to convert on the three-point play. If she does, it'll put her in double figures. She's got 9 now, and does so. And all of this going on with the best player perhaps on the Emory Eagles squad, Ashley Oldshue, on the bench with 4 personal fouls. At what point, Michelle, do you bring her back in?
Not yet. As long as you can keep the momentum in your favor, you continue to keep this, at least 8-9 point lead, I'd say leave her on the bench at least 2 more minutes.
Homily left it off the front edge, gathered by Blair Ripley. Chernow running point. We'll see Say come back in at the next stoppage.
And the Eagles just buying some time here, letting the clock tick down.
Lindell cuts down low after the pass to Chernow. Trying to drive is Allison. Back outside, Jochi, and an air ball to force it up with a shot clock violation being called. She is not a shooter, and with 1 on the shot clock, had no choice. Good defense there by the Bears.
In the last 2 possessions, the Bears have not really run plays to get Madeline Homley touches down low in the post. She's come out, she's been on the wing and had touches, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try and go inside down low to her in this possession.
Here's Samantha Weaver. Homily against Ripley. Homily into the 20-point column, I should say. 21 points for her.
And that's really okay for the Eagles. Time is still ticking off the clock, just under 5 minutes now.
Ripley's 3 won't go. Long rebound fought for, finally gathered by Klossner. And a long pass. That was a little bit wild, looking for Schmelter. It'll be Emory ball. So that's a big turnover they can't afford. Still a 10-point lead for the Eagles.
Yeah, 10-point lead with under 5 minutes. WashU's really going to have to start turning up the pace and possibly hit a couple threes if they're going to try and get back in this game, go on a little bit of a run. But also they need to get some stops defensively. Seems like they're going back to this pressure defense in the half court to see if they can get a turnover.
And this is one of those 10-point leads that still leaves you with sweaty palms. With all that's riding on this game, trying to pull the big upset and end a 13-game losing streak against the Bears. Here's Chernow. Outside, Lindell for 3, gotcha! The junior from Yardley, Pennsylvania makes it 13 points.
Wow, what a shot by Erin Lindahl. That was exciting. The bench went absolutely crazy.
Lindell has 11. The lead is 66-53. And the Bears will now inbound from their own baseline.
And that's okay. That's Blair's 3rd foul, but she's still okay with only 4 minutes left to be kept in the game.
Nothing there again for Madeline Homily, who's kind of gone quiet all of a sudden. I mean, she does have 21 points, and we saw her put in a bucket, but she's had a few that have fallen for her early in this game that have not gone here in this 4th quarter.
Well, they just haven't gone into her as much. She hasn't had the touches that she had in the first half.
And there was some contact down low. We'll see who they'll whistle it on as Chernow got caught up in the wash with Sondag. And that will be on Rachel Sondag, her first personal.
And that's great for the Eagles because they get a new shot clock. And Coach Jackson wants to talk it over.
Sondag has had a pretty quiet game. She is the program all-time leader in threes. You would think at some point they'd want her to get going. Let's look at the upcoming schedule here as the season's starting to close out. And one more road trip for the Eagles. They'll play Chicago at 2 o'clock on Sunday. And then on the road, Case Western, Carnegie Mellon on the 15th and 17th. And then back home on the 23rd against Rochester. So that's the rest of your way. Of course, this would set up very well, Michelle, if they could win this game and knock off a 9-0 team in conference.
Yeah, they knock off the #1 team. You got to know they're going to have a ton of confidence. If they'd be on a 6-game winning streak going into Sunday against an excellent Chicago team who they almost beat at Chicago just a few weeks ago. So if they can pull this one off tonight, go into Sunday with a little bit more swagger in their step, then who knows? Maybe they're looking at winning out for the rest of this UAA season.
The Eagles right now, let's look at just individual scoring. Ashley Oldshue, who's been on the bench for most of this fourth quarter with 21. She's 10 of 15 from the field. Erin Lindell's got 11, 3 3-pointers for her, 10 for Allison Chernow, 9 for Blair Ripley, 6 for Lindsay Say, and Ajaria Jackson-Sherrod. Kind of a low-scoring game for her with 4. They're trying to go for Ripley. She was double-teamed and poked away. Coming away with it is Becca Clark-Callender. She'll try to drive close to coast and will finish. So Becca Clark-Callender, good effort there. And a whistle and a reach-in foul as now Emory up 66-55.
And what a great timely drive by the senior. Becca Clark-Callender comes down, puts her head down, and does what she needs to do to get a quick basket for her team. That was excellent.
Second on Caroline Ballard. Ballard playing on Say again. Chernow rips it back out. Comes around a screen, and again a whistle. So Emory will take these if they're going to keep calling these fouls on WashU.
Well, I thought originally it looked like WashU was going to intentionally foul. Then they let off for a few minutes and then ended up fouling Allison. But if there's anyone on the court you don't want to foul if you're WashU, it's Allison Chernow. She's 86% from the free throw line on the season. Just stellar from the line.
Jochi for Lindahl, so offense for defense for offense, I should say. Second on Sondag, foul-wise, and both hit by Chernow. Allison now with a dozen. Clark-Callender lost control of it, poked out, loose on the floor, back outside, 3 for Sondag, off the mark. And again, fought for on the floor. Ripley came up with it and gives it off to Chernow. We hit the 3-minute mark. Emory up 68-55. And this is a team, keep in mind, that is averaging 68 points a contest. And another foul, this time on a reach-in against Jochi. It'll be on Sondag, her third. Sophia Jochi is a good free throw shooter. She's 3 of 4 for the year. As soon as we say that, of course, she misses.
Well, she hasn't shot very many, but she's got a decent percentage. And here comes Ashley Oldshue. Pretty good timing. There's only 3 minutes left, but she's also a great free throw shooter. So Coach Jackson wants her in case WashU continues to foul.
You would think, though, they'll probably go right at her with 4 personal fouls. Jochi misses both. Like we said, she was 3 of 4 on the season. And is that going to be on Oldshue? It is. Whoa. Well, that's her 5th foul, and she's done. Gotta say that those are fouls that did not look, I guess textbook-wise, yes, they could be fouls, but those are tight fouls, especially the call against the best player on the court.
Yeah, that last one was a little bit touchy, but, I mean, Ashley also has to be a little bit smarter in that scenario. It's not worth going for that basketball.
So Ashley Oldshue is done. She's on the bench with all of her scoring, and down low they'll go to Homily, and she'll be fouled. Oldshue's evening was 21 points. It's the same as Madeline Homily. Homily will try to leapfrog her.
And you've got to start thinking about possessions here. Emory's up 13 points. WashU's still struggling to score in this fourth quarter as Homily misses that free throw. But on the night, they're only 3 for 13 from the three-point line, which is 23%. So if they're going to have to start taking threes pretty quick here, and they just haven't had anyone lighting it up from downtown tonight.
Foul was also the 4th on Ripley. Homily from Kansas City, Missouri, a senior. Just love her major as she'll sink the 2nd as well. A philosophy, neuroscience, psychology major. And
Wow.
Those all have, I think they're all the same major. They were all connected, ///, but I don't know if that's just one major or a lot of different majors combined. Is that a triple major? Either way, it's impressive. We'll have a timeout on the floor. Emory will call a 30-second timeout. So Misha Jackson wants to talk about what's going to happen the rest of the way, with now foul concerns really becoming the story, with Oldshue out, Ripley with 4, and Emory up 68-56.
Then at the same time, WashU has to be careful about who's choosing to foul. If they're going to intentionally foul, you know, some of their post players have 3-4 fouls. So who's going to foul and which players do they foul? This is the moment in the game when all the coaches are praying. They remember their scouting report, remember who on the floor is going to knock those free throws down and who has a little bit of a lower shooting percentage, and you can at least play percentages and foul the right person.
Going to be an entertaining 2:24. Azaria Jackson, Sherrod to Chernow. Every possession will matter. Inside to Lindell. It was left too tall for her. And as we say, every possession matters. Emory will commit its 11th turnover.
Aaron and Allison smiling to each other, giving each other a high five on that one. But let's see if the Eagles can stop them on defense here.
Knocked down by Becca Clark-Callender. Now a 10-point game with 2 minutes left. Have to get over the timeline. They do so, and they'll lose possession there. Say lost it. Loose on the floor. Coming away with it are the Bears. Say does not turn it over much at all. Driving, can't finish though, as Samantha Weaver was out of control, and now a whistle to stop things in Washington University of St. Louis. Will get called in on the reach-in.
And that'll be Madeline Homley's 4th foul as well. But Emory's struggling with that zone 3/4 court press by the WashU. Every time they've come out in that, we've turned the ball over on the initial possession. So we'll see here if Coach Jackson can get them in some sort of a press break that makes them more comfortable getting across the line in a timely manner.
You mentioned Chernow coming in about 82%. A full timeout. So under 2 left to play, 141. We'll have this next free throw after they ice Chernow coming up. And let's look at the early Emory scoring leaders. And of course, no surprise that Ashley Oldshue at the top. She had 21 today. She is fouled out. Chernow, though, working her way up the scoreboard. She's actually right on her average. She is 13 on the number. And we'll have another free throw to see if she can work past that. Lindell with 10. Jerry Jackson Sherrod with 8. And as we move along here, rebound numbers. Ashley Oldshue with 8. Ripley with 5, Lindahl with 5. We talked about her being so good finding the ball. Terry Jackson Sherrod with 4, and Chernow with 4.7. So look at your numbers throughout the team. Right now, Emory up by 11, but boy, oh boy, I mean, it feels a lot closer. It's just waiting for those triple zeros.
Well, and WashU is such a dangerous team. They have every intention and every power and every tool to come back at the end of this game. They can just score from so many different positions. We'll see here if they're going to try and take a 3 in this next possession, or if they're going to go inside to a basically guaranteed 2 for Madeline Homley.
Chernow with the final one, lips out, so the icing with the timeout works. Stays at 69-58. Here's Clark-Callender, and she'll get it to roll. 9-point game. It's a big swing. It could have been a dozen. Now it's 9. So you got to give credit to Randy Henderson on the timeout.
And credit to the senior, Becca Clark-Callender, coming down again and hitting a very timely 2 points.
Rachel Sondag will commit her 4th personal to send Say to the line. Contrary to what you might think, she is not a good free throw shooter. And she misses there. She is under 43% for the year, which is kind of strange, especially when point guards usually are good free throw shooters, but she misses both. Homily will gather the rebound. Clark Callender, she'll be fouled by Jochi down low. And so here we go with the clock stopped. That is going to help WashU to get to the line for some freebies. Actually, check that. They will call on Azaria Jackson-Sherrod, her second personal.
Looked like Azaria came over as help side and ended up fouling on the fouling her on the arm as she went up for the shot. And Emory's got to be smart on this possession. Come down, use some clock, get it into the hands of your best free throw shooters. Get it into Blair Ripley's hands or Allison Chernow's hands if you can. Erin is also not a bad free throw shooter.
She hit both. Lindell back in the game for Jochi. Look to see if they were going to foul again. They don't.
It looks like they're intentionally fouling certain players who touch the ball. So as soon as it went to Allison, they were no longer going to intentionally foul her, but as soon as it went back to Azaria Jackson-Sherrod, they were.
Well, Azaria Jackson-Sherrod at the free throw line, 10 of 17 this year. Kind of middle of the road. Boy, she steps up, wastes no time, but misses it.
And that's 5 in a row the Eagles have missed, so that's a huge swing this late in the game. They have to start knocking down these free throws, or else WashU's coming back strong.
Say and Azaria Jackson-Sherrod finally hits there on her second. Emory, as you mentioned, a good free throw shooting team, just under 75% for the year. And a whistle on the outside as Homily hit the deck. It came before the shot.
And Emory tonight only 7 of 14 from the line for only 50%.
Lindsay Say will draw her second personal foul, and now to the line is Madeline Homily. She's a 58% free throw shooter. 70-63 is your score.
Yeah, WashU's outscored the Eagles 20-14 so far in this fourth quarter.
I'll tell you what, it is a tough way to come down the stretch, especially when you are a good free throw shooting team. And Say will give it away to Lindell. They'll give her space. Now just trying to eat clock, and they'll finally foul Lindell. So a smart move to get it to a good free throw shooter. Weaver with the foul will be her first personal. Lindell is 75% from the stripe.
Yeah, Emory seemed much more comfortable that time. They knew what the zone press was going to look like, and they knew what WashU was trying to do in terms of fouling specific players. So they were able to get the ball into those players' hands, and Erin knocks down the first one.
Can't convert on her second, so the free throw struggles continue. 71-64 your score. Eagles with the lead. Down low, Homily can't get it to go. Chernow is fouled after she gets the rebound. That will be it for Homily with her fifth. You gotta wonder if the risk reward on that is worthwhile to put Homily on the bench.
I think she did what she needed to do. I mean, that's a senior move. You need to foul immediately. You're still down 7 points, only 38 seconds to go, so that's at least a 3-possession game. She needed to foul immediately, so I respect the decision. It's unfortunate that she was the one standing right there and had to commit it as their best player, but she did what she needed to do.
Well, and my counter to that is if you're going to play for overtime and try to tie it, then you're without your best player. But either way, it is what it is now at this point with 5 fouls, both of the two we highlighted as Homily fouls out. Chernow at the line to hit. Homily finished with 24. Oldshue finished with 21. So the two seniors certainly did as expected. Chernow hits both. Those were big.
That was huge from the junior. She's got 15 now.
Clark Callender down low, had to force a shot, and a jump ball called as she got tied up with Chernow.
Excellent defense by Allison on that one.
73-64, 29.4 left to play. Emory trying to end a 13-game losing streak to WashU and also their current 10-game win streak. Foul will send Ripley to the line. That was the third on Ballard. Actually, check that, her fourth foul.
And this is looking really good for the Eagles. Last season, Emory finished 7-7 in conference. Coming into tonight, they were already 6-3 on the year. So if this holds, they'll end up 7-3 and keep their third place position in the UAA and knock off number 1. WashU will drop to 9-1.
We mentioned how this is already the third best year, at least tying record-wise, in this program's history. They could vault over that record as Washington will call the full timeout, and Emory up 75-64, 22.9.
I know Coach Jackson, this is a really important game for her. This is her second year as a head coach of Emory. She's been an assistant for several years before that, and before that she played here. She was a player until 2013. She played 3 seasons here for the Eagles, and her senior year they actually beat WashU to win the UAA for her senior year when she was a captain. So this is the kind of game that she's going to look back on as the first win over the best team in our league consistently and be really proud of.
And this is got to mean a lot to you too as an alum, former player here. These are big games to get over that psychological barrier too.
Oh, absolutely. I know Coach Jackson wants to create a big program here at Emory, one that's known nationally, similar to the WashU program. I mean, Nancy Fahey was the old coach of WashU. She coached for more than 30 years in the program and only left 2 years ago to go coach Division I in the Big Ten. So, but they've been to 9 national championship games. They've won 5 national titles. So this is the kind of program that Coach Jackson wants to create here at Emory.
WashU, and foul on the 3. Well, that's a mistake there by Erin Lindahl, her third personal. So the line will go Ballard. Ballard 79% for the year from the free throw line, the senior from Manhattan, Kansas.
And as a team tonight, WashU is 12 of 13 from the free throw line. That's an impressive stat. They've hit them when they've needed to.
Well, they made it count. Certainly, I mean, Emory, they win this game, they're 61.9% from the free throw line, which is not good. And it will be amazing if they do win this and hold on here, which is looking that way.
If they can hold on, it will be because of that excellent run that they had at the end of the third quarter. I mean, outscoring Wash in the third quarter by 15 points. That's really let them miss some of these free throws, and it's still okay.
Here's Lindahl. They'll draw it back. They won't foul. And Emory is going to knock off the number 21 team in the country. 13 games in a row, no more. They end the losing streak against WashU, and the Eagles improve their record now to 16-5 on the season and 7-3 overall, and hand WashU their first conference loss of the season.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow. What an excellent team win for the Eagles. They came together. They played excellent defense. I mean, the classic Allison Chernow, Erin Lindahl, and Ashley Oldshue stepped up big for the Eagles. They played great defense, and they just executed the game plan. It was great. Such a fun game.
The team had 5 blocks, most of those coming in that first half. They also had 4 steals, but I'm sorry. Yes, 4 steals, but a solid game overall for Emory, also taking advantage of every time that Madeline Homily went to the bench. And I tell you what, Homily still had a good night with 24 points. Botkin had 20 on the Eagles side, 21 for Oldshue, 15 for Chernow, 12 for Lindahl, 11 for Blair Ripley. And a solid night for Misha Jackson's squad. So final thoughts on this big victory.
I think this is a great momentum boost for the Eagles. They've won 6 in a row now, so going into an excellent Chicago team who they lost to just a month ago on Sunday, this is going to be a great shot for them just to keep this going, keep it rolling, and see if they can get another one on Sunday.
Well, the men's game will be up immediately following us. Actually, stick around for that one because at halftime of the men's game, they will have the unveiling of the Volleyball National Championship banner. So you might want to watch that. but it has been a pleasure and a huge win. Well, for Michelle Bevan, I'm Bill Schindler. Once again, your final score, Emory, a huge win over number 21 WashU here this evening